Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another short mini series with Process Pat. Today, we are going to do things just a little bit differently. We are going to take some of the questions that we have fielded through social media, and we are going to answer them in an unfiltered way, so that you can get to know me, and maybe you can take a little bit of information and experience that I have learned throughout my career that may be able to help you. We'll see. So let's jump through this a little bit. First is work from home here to stay. This is a hot topic today. If you were to ask me this right before the pandemic hit, I would have said no, probably not. It'll be a niche. It'll be something that a few people do, but it's really not that successful. But after going through the pandemic and having a team that is transformed from a team that was physically present in the office to a team that is mostly working remote from various parts of the United States and beyond, it's become very clear to me that the teams are just as, if not more, productive, which is kind of mind blowing to me. And so I think that this trend is here to stay. I see that companies will come out and revolutionize the way that we work from home, though. Imagine putting on VR goggles, looking to the left, looking to the right, seeing the people that you're working with as if you were in a virtual or in a physical space, but you get all the perks from working from home, or being able to throw up Jira onto just out there into the ether and use your hands to manipulate it and move things across the board. Um, I think that the work from home opportunity is just going to continue to grow, and it allows you to attract better talent from various locations across the United States and beyond, so that you can attract top talent and help to develop your product in the best way possible. And you get the flexibility of working from home. I think one of the coolest things for me, I was a new dad, and I have a 3-year-old and a 1.5-year-old, and being able to work from home has helped me to see them grow, and that's been very special to me. So I think it's here to stay. Um, and I think obviously certain industries will go back to in person, but I think that for most software development companies, you're going to see that this trend sticks for a long period of time, forever. How did you find your way into the world of process, Scrum Mastery, and Agile coaching? This is a great question, and that's because there really isn't a path forward from an educational standpoint here. If in high school they're not teaching processes in any detail, when you go to universities, they're getting better at it, but the colleges still are not focusing in on the way that we work, which are the processes, the teams, the methodologies, the frameworks that we use to actually develop a product. And so when I graduated from college, I got an internship as a project manager for a great company called Assurian. And after 2 years, a couple promotions, a very important person had left the company. We had a little happy hour as the night went on. More and more people left, and I was introduced to, I think, either the senior director or vice president of technology at the time. And he introduced me to this new world. They were tasked with this massive data migration project, creating this new platform to support it. And he had his own team and his own budget, and they were going to do things different. Rather than having project managers and technical project managers, they were going to develop this Agile framework, and leverage Scrum. And so this is the first time that I really heard. So I took a leap of faith. It was something that I was always interested in, but I did not have any experience. I became a Scrum Master, not knowing what that entailed, and I haven't looked back. It was one of the best things that have ever happened to me from a career standpoint. It's something that I find fulfilling, and that I've just always loved and have been able to build on over time. So everybody, I think, that becomes a Scrum Master does it in a non-traditional way, because you don't go to school to become a Scrum Master. You find your way into this position based off of an enterprise need. What do you look for when interviewing to know if it'll be a good fit? Another outstanding question. As you continue to interview and look for potential fit for you, it's important to think through why you believe that you will be a good fit at that company. So, in the last session, we talked about asking questions at the end of an interview. This is the perfect time to find out a little bit more about the company that you're interviewing with. They want to make sure you're a good fit, but you need to make sure that they are a good fit as well. So, as a Scrum Master, as a product owner, really you could put the job title aside. You want to make sure that there's career path opportunity for you. There have been plenty of places that I've been at that don't have career paths well defined, or there's a ceiling. And if you are somebody that wants to see your career grow over time, you need a clearly defined career path with goals so that you can work with your manager to ensure that you are meeting those goals, you're exceeding them, you're working hard, you're being promoted, and you're following a career path that will take you to where you want to be within your career. So um, make sure that you are a good fit for them, but that they are also a good fit for you. And one of the things that I always look out for are to ensure that there's a career path that I can follow that will ensure success and fulfill my career potential. What is the your favorite thing about what you do? Um, this All right, let me provide a little bit of background on me personally. So, all throughout college and high school, I worked in construction with my dad. He was a general contractor, owned his own company. And my brother and I would always work for my dad, building houses. And one of the things that I loved most about that, even though, in the day to day, when you're tearing off a roof and you're building it up and you're ripping out floors or drywall and you're doing um, you're rolling up your sleeves, you're getting dirty, and you're working in over 100-degree days or in freezing temperatures. And it's day in and day out. It can be tiring. It's grueling, but there's absolutely nothing better than when you are done with a project. You take a step back and you see this thing that you and your team, in this case, our family, had created. It's a really neat feeling, and it's something that I've always just absolutely loved. And so the thing that I find most fulfilling in a career as a process coach, even though if you look incrementally day to day, week to week, month to month, um, sometimes you don't necessarily see the larger picture and all the things that you have changed. And I think it's incredibly important, that from time to time you take a step back, especially when you're feeling down, you feel like you're not able to make too much progress when you really should be. And think about where you were a year ago. Where were you 6 months, a year, 2 years ago? Um, how has the enterprise progressed? How's your team progressed? If you're a scrum master, if you're a product owner, how's your area of ownership progressed over time? And when you take a step back and you really focus in on that, you will you'll find that sense of satisfaction. And for me, that's the best part about my job. Second best part is obviously my team and the people that we work with day to day and seeing their success as well. I look, just like the last question, I look for an enterprise that will support my career path. But then my team also looks to me to make sure that I am setting them up for success. And there's nothing better than seeing them get promoted um, and do an awesome job for the enterprise and the teams that they are supporting. Now, the last question here that I have for you today is a pretty good one. What do you think is the next big thing in enterprise operations? Well, we've all seen where enterprises have gone over the last 10 years, 10, 15 years. There's been monumental change in every aspect of the technological world, whether it's moving to the cloud, whether it's going from monolithic architectures to microservices and containerized platforms. I think and we're already starting to see this leveraging tools like Slack, but I think where we go next are highly optimizing the enterprise on process automation, process as a service, if you will, another as a service. I think that tools are becoming easier to integrate. It's becoming easier to build workflows that automate the mundane tasks that we do day to day. Um, and even if you don't know how to develop or decode, you can still create these workflows and these processes and these integrations that can substantially help improve the efficiency of your team or your organization. So I think the next big thing, I think that companies are really going to become hyper focused on becoming more efficient from a process standpoint, whether it's escalation workflows so that you can so that you can shorten the cycle time from the time that an escalation is identified through that fix is provided and pushed out. The development pipeline itself, push button deployments are a lot of companies are doing that today. But there is so much opportunity in the operational world to provide process as a service, to find automations, to find workflows that can make our workforce much more efficient day to day, to keep people focused on the things that really get us excited to come to work, the hard problems to solve, so that we can be more impactful when we go to work on a daily basis. Anyways, thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Thank you first for those that support that provided those questions. I would love to do this more often. So if you have any feedback, any other questions that you would like, please post in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.